Good morning, Cougars. Who is ready for the last real week of at-home learning? Yay! I am, I know for sure. So, as we go into this week, I want you to be positive, finish strong. A reminder that all assignments are due by Tuesday, May 26th. So, anything you wanted to resubmit, anything that you haven't submitted, if you want it to count into your average, you want it done by Tuesday, May 26th. Keep in mind the message I sent out to you that will help you figure out what your average needs to be in order to get pre-AP credit. Basically, I think you have to have 226 points if you add together all your 6 weeks averages for the semester. And that's important. It's a 10-point boost, so make sure you have enough credit. Make sure that you, first of all, that you have 210 points that are needed in order to pass English, because if you don't pass English this year, then you have to take the STAR test, and then you have to go to a credit recovery, or you have to go to summer school, and nobody wants to do that. Who knows what that would even look like this summer. So as we get started, to start with a little positivity to make you feel good about what you've been working on, even in the midst of this coronacation. And now I'm using that term sarcastically, because it's not been much of a vacation, right? So this is Allison, and I received an email from Allison, a former student, last week. I wanted to share it with you because I thought it might encourage you about some of the things you've learned this year. You notice, you can see what she has in her hand. She has her AP English toolkit that she made in my class, and here's what she has to say about that. She says, "Hi, Miss John. My name's Allison, and I used to be in your pre-AP English 1 class back in the 2013-2014 school year." So yeah, 6 years ago. "I'm currently a junior at the University of Texas at Austin, studying for a BS in biochemistry and a minor in anthropology. I just finished writing an essay, which takes the place of a final exam, when I thought about your English class. The saying here is that STEM majors can't write, and I must admit the majority of us prefer not to. I'm in the category of people who don't particularly mind because we don't have a choice. In contrast to my science courses, my anthropology courses require many essays on topics like cultural perceptions or how the human skeleton has changed. I still begin all of my essays as rough outlines with a thesis statement, topic sentences, phrases of supporting details, etc. I can confidently say that this method has kept my writing efficient and logical. The more I write, the faster and easier the process becomes. Embedded quotations and citation formats tend to vary between professors. They all have preferences or certain styles which can be quite tiring to switch between. But I first learned about the MLA format in your class, and I'm grateful for the prior exposure. I still have the AP English Toolkit and the literary yellow pages too. I tend to use the page of fix-its and the yellow pages the most. I just want to say thank you for teaching me, and I hope this message offers you motivation in this time. I really enjoyed your class. If your students are having a rough time paying attention towards the end of the month, let them know that writing matters. I can testify. People who really know how to write often enjoy the most success. One day, they'll be grateful they had such a knowledgeable and passionate English teacher. Best, Allison Fang." And you can see her line at the bottom tells you about where she is in the University of Texas. So you're writing now. We're going to finish up, and you're going to be able to use this format to help you going forward. That's the goal. So in session 1 this week, it's just revising and editing. So watching this video for a completion grade, use the rhetorical analysis rubric, which will be in the session 1 revising and editing folder. Fix its page. Got you a copy of that. Any feedback you receive from me on your guided draft, and the embedding quotations guide to make revisions and edits to your guided draft on no red ink. Now, though you can begin this session before I finish reading and commenting on your guided draft, I'm only going to give content and structure feedback. You're probably going to want to wait to submit your final draft until you read the feedback. Most of the comment I'm giving is about like, hey, making sure that you are actually answering the question. How do the rhetorical choices that the author make connect to her purpose? And my suggestion there is that you look at the last pre-writing activity you did, the chart, where you had the quote, then you talked about what that made the audience feel, what was the audience's reaction, and then how did that connect to the purpose. That's going to help you with your commentary. Remember that I'm going to be using the AP rubric, which I'll show you here in a moment, to score your final drafts. Okay, I won't be using necessarily just how they have it on no red ink, although I've put a score on it for you with the no red ink. Session 2, you're going to get credit for turning it in through Schoology and turning it in to turnitin.com. So 3 grades this week. 1 grade for watching this video, and 1 grade, and actually all I'm going to do this time, I'm not even going to make a completion assessment for it. I'll be able to see who has the green arrow. And if you don't watch it, it will be abundantly clear because you won't know what to do with the rest of these assignments. So I'm glad you're watching. Okay, for session 2, copy and paste your completed revised essay from no red ink into the Google Doc assignment. That will be scored with the rubric, the AP rubric. And then lastly, upload your completed essay for a plagiarism check only to turnitin.com. Okay, so to join Turnitin, their Turnitin class, if you're a newbie and you've not ever set up your account, here is the process. Go to turnitin.com. If you're joining 3rd period, here's the class ID, and then here is the enrollment key, and you follow the same process if you're in 4th period. I'll have this entire slideshow, which is weeks 6 through 9 of rhetorical analysis, available for you to access in one of these folders. So let's take a look at the assignments that you can find in the folder for this week. Sorry you're having to do this in live time, but we'll be finished shortly. Okay, at home learning, you'll go there. We're going to week 9, which is not published yet because it's not time. So session 1, week 9, you have the rhetorical analysis rubric. Let's take a look. Okay, so you have points for the thesis statement. You get 1 point if you have a claim that can be proven in the essay, addresses the prompt, answers correctly with a defensible thesis that establishes a line of reasoning. Everyone should have a good thesis if you did the activities prior. If you have one that's too general or no depth for analysis, you only get half a point. And then you can read this further, read in more detail about things that may be true of ones that do not get a point. For evidence, if you're just restating, and this is something I've seen in some of the ones that I've looked at on no red ink, some of you are just describing, like paraphrasing what Malala Yousafzai is saying. You are not talking about how the choices she makes affects her purpose. Okay, so be careful that you're choosing evidence that helps you do that. 2 points for evidence. You can look that you have to have a minimum of 2 text examples per body paragraph. Commentary. For 2 points, all commentary provided is well developed and consistently and explicitly explains the relationship between the evidence and the thesis. So at least 2 sentences are included for each concrete detail, and you explain how multiple rhetorical choices in the passage contribute to the writer's argument. These are words that come directly from the AP rubric that I included in this one. Sophistication point, giving you some guidelines on that. You might want to study that. Those of you who are in the running for that, you're always trying to get that sophistication point, and good for you. But be careful that writing that sounds formulaic, it's not going to get the sophistication point, or use complicated or complex sentences or language that is ineffective because it does not enhance the analysis. So that's when someone's trying to sound really brilliant, but they're overdoing it and it makes it more confusing than it does simplify the argument. You could get deductions for punctuation mistakes, capitalization errors, fix-it list issues, so use your fix-it list. And then here's how the scores will be given. I will not be writing comments on this version of the draft, okay? So comments only on the rough draft that you're working on. Okay, you also have the fix-its list, which I'm not going to read to you because you can do that, embedding quotations list, and then I will also put the PowerPoint that I'm using or the slideshow for week 6 through 9. So if you want to run over those, and you know that the Malala speech can be found on last week's activity. And for session 2, let's look at that. I don't know why that looks so weird. Okay, so this is the same kind of assignment that you've seen with the last week. So final draft, rhetorical analysis of Nobel Prize speech. You open that up. Just going to move it. And you're going to click on this part here. Follow these directions here. It's already set up in size 12 font. So you got to insert your information here where the highlights are. I've set it up. It should stay double spaced, but be careful. You know how it does. Title here, begin your essay here. Now, what I've done, just for ease, for you and for me, is the rubric is going to be the last page. So I'm just going to score it here. I'm just going to highlight the points that you get for your assignment. Highlight your number. Then that's what's going to be your score for this last essay. Okay, so no comments will allow me to do it faster. All right, so I think we have all that we need. I want you to know, I don't want you to stress over this because you've already done a first draft. And then let's just be, real. You guys, y'all have already done a lot of good work with the rhetorical analysis. I want you to do a good job. I don't want you to stress about it. I'm not going to stress. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can on those first drafts that you've done. So I will be reading those, trying to comment, so that all you'll have to do for these sessions this week is to make any revisions that you need. Okay, I have not checked about about whether you're able to access your. I bet you can access your paper in no red ink as soon as I'm finished and return it to you. If you see any problems with that, since this is the first time we've used no red ink, please let me know. Again, mercy and grace for this, but I ask that you try really hard to get everything turned in on time so that I can get the grades turned in on time. All right, and if you have questions, send me a message. Don't forget, this week we have our book club meeting too on May 20th, so that's Wednesday. Can't wait to talk about what has happened because you're going to be shook by the ending of Lord of the Flies. All right, guys, it's been a great, well, I don't know what to say. It's been a year, hasn't it? It's been fascinating, and we've learned a lot, and I'm really proud of you for sticking with it, and hopefully I'll see you soon, okay? Y'all have a great week, and we'll catch up next. Okay, oh, don't forget, this Tuesday, fictional character day at our class Zoom, which is at 1:35. No, sorry, that's the wrong class. At 1 o'clock. This is class Zoom meeting on Tuesday. Fictional character day. I had some students who have not come before that are coming today because it's fictional character day. Can't wait to see them. And then we'll have one more. I think we're having a luau Zoom next week for our last one, and that's just going to be meet and greet and make sure that you're all good with how the end of school is going. Okay? All right, guys, be blessed. Be a blessing, even more importantly. And I'll see you soon. Bye.